Good evening to you and welcome to your evening newscast for today, Thursday, June 16, 2022. With your news at this time, my name is Joshua Van Slykeman. According to Guyana's laws governing the oil sector, companies are required to give up varying portions of their respective oil blocks to the state over a 10-year period. The first period of relinquishment occurs after 4 years, while the second and third timelines occurs after a period of 3 years each. All petroleum agreements for onshore and offshore concessions confirm to the foregoing stipulation except for one, the 2016 Stabroek Block Production Sharing Agreement. This agreement only requires ExxonMobil's subsidiary and operator, Esso, to return a portion of the oil-rich deepwater acre after 7 years. Most importantly, if the company is convincing enough, there is a provision that empowers the subject minister to let Exxon hold onto the entire block for much longer. It should be noted that no other agreement the nation has with other oil explorers has such a special provision. Such discretion is not even catered for in Guyana's oil laws. As Guyana prepares for its first bid round by the end of the third quarter, the government has said it will pursue aggressive relinquishment of offshore acreage. President Ali was in swell mode on Wednesday during an outreach in Bartica Region 7 until a female farmer's question about Guyana's oil blocks angered him. The president's outreach was held at the Bartica Community Center ground and began at around 11 hours. After delivering a dramatic speech about his government's vision for the country, Ali decided to open the floor for the Barticians who attended to voice their concerns and ask him questions. When a question about oil blocks by the female farmer was asked, Ali became angry. The woman told Ali to speak about Guyana's oil blocks, and it was quite evident that he got annoyed. Ali got so angry that he shouted at the audience and the woman while making his response. His remarks were so harsh that the crowd began to laugh when he was lashing out at the farmer, who asked for a simple explanation about her wealth. The loud tone of his voice and words he spoke apparently intimidated the woman because she disappeared from the outreach soon after. Vice President Barra Jagde is of the view that the large-scale mining contracts in Guyana should be made available to the public should a formal request be made to the Freedom of Information Office. Jagde made the assertions yesterday during a press engagement held at the office of the president when he was confronted with the recommendations by the Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative that the contracts for the 10 large-scale operations in Guyana be made public. He qualified his position by pointing to the Bai-Shenling contract and at the fact that it was GRA that allowed the tax authority to move against the Chinese lock-in company for unpaid taxes. Esso disclosed on Wednesday that at the end of 2021, it recorded a $132 billion profit after working in the Stabroek block since 1999. The company noted yesterday that its revenue for the reporting period increased to $254 billion, reflecting higher production volumes and a stronger price environment versus 2020. Importantly, the company said this was the first profitable year it recorded since working in the basin. It is understood that the overall expenses in the Stabroek block were up in 2021 versus 2020, mostly due to the increased production costs and higher depreciation, both of which were driven by increased oil productions. And finally, at this time, the attorney representing Kaieteur News' publisher Glenn Lal in the case filed against the government of Guyana over the decision to grant ExxonMobil and its affiliates extensive tax waivers is arguing strongly that the businessman and newspaper owner has the right to challenge the concessions in the interests of the public. Attorney at law Mohammed R. Ali noted in his written submission to the High Court in response to the government's position on the case that Lal is a businessman and a taxpayer who commends these proceedings as a public spirit citizen of Guyana. In its initial response to the case, the government said that the transaction falls in the realm of a private law and it does not affect Lal personally. Hence, his reason for the case he filed should not stand.
And thus